So we're back with more The Big Book of Orks, and today we're going to talk about nobs. So, what's different about them? Well, the stat line basically is as this for your standard unit of nobs. Movement 5, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 5, toughness 4, 2 wounds, 3 attacks, 6 leadership, and a 4+ save. You then get the boss nob, who is exactly the same, except he's got 7 leadership. No difference here. You can also take ammo runts. Remember, what were once counters in the old edition well, in last edition, shall we say, are now actual physical models. And basically, each time the unit shoots, when making for hit rolls, you can re-roll 1 dice for each ammo runt accompanying it. So basically, you get a free re-roll, which is not bad. So, what do they come with? Well, a unit, your standard unit of nobs, comes with 1 boss nob and 4 nobs, and it can include up to 5 additional nobs, and they're all armed with a slugger, chopper, and stick bombs. So, not bad. Basically, a standard variant, but remember, you are getting that extra 1 additional attack, so you are making technically 4 attacks. However, you have better weapon options, shall we say. And that starts off with, straight away, is you get the Power Stabber, which is strength user, so it's a 5 strength, -2, 1 damage. Awesome. It's essentially what your chopper does, except it's a -2 to the AP. You also get the kill saw, which we all know and love. You can also equip big choppers, which you probably want to do. However, as in the past, the problem with nobs is that the more stuff you give them, the more expensive they become. So you don't want to overload your nobs with too much stuff. Now, the temptation here is to give them combi weapons and put a scorcher on them, which is very tempting. Although it does make the unit quite expensive if you want to do that. Keep to the old traditional route. I'd say if you're going to run a unit of 5, use them as sort of a elite tackler unit. Give them give your boss nob and probably 2 others power claws, and give the rest big choppers. Big choppers are much more better. They can take them in this list. Super good. Again, they do again, they'll do exactly what you want them to do. They are your elite heavy hitting unit. These are the ones that probably advance behind your boy line, or are in trucks or in battle wagons, basically, so it gives them a bit more cover so that they can advance and get into the close combat, so they can do what they're made to do, and that's to chop things into even smaller bits. So, what are their abilities? Well, this is where things start getting good. So they've got Here We Go and Mob Rule. They've also got Keep in Order. So roll a d6 for each model that flees from a clan unit within 3 of any friendly clan unit with this ability. On a 6, that model doesn't flee. So just another way to keep your boys in line. Better with smaller units, really. So burners, commandos, looters, probably other nobs units as well. It'll just basically keep them in the fight. Now, this is also good because all nobs now come with cyborg bodies. So each time a model with a cyborg body loses a wound, roll a d6. On a 6, that wound is not lost. However, you can't take a Doc's Tools or a Biker Doc's Tools roll for this model if you do so. So basically, it's a free feel no pain rule, which is not bad. So that's your nobs. Your next is a individual character because it's your nob with a war banner. Exact same stats as your nob, there's no difference. Except he comes with a war banner. So it's a melee weapon, +2 strength, no AP, but 2 damage. It's basically like a big chopper. And what does this war banner actually do? Well, clan units within 6 of any friendly war banners add +1 to their hit rolls in the fight phase. So basically, when you're rolling, you're now hitting on 2s instead of 3s, and if you're using a power claw, it sort of takes away the disadvantage of that -1. So you're essentially back to hitting on 3s. Which is, by the way, amazing, because if you combine this with boys, boys are throwing out 120 attacks. If you combine that, your boys are now hitting on 2s instead of 3s. You've just got, suddenly, you're wiping out whole units. Not just because of the amount of dice, but you're giving even more dice a chance to roll, because then you're only failing on 1s. It's just unbelievable, really, the amount of attacks that can, again, generate. And this goes for all units in the book, so long as it just says clan units. So I'm guessing when we actually get the Orc book, we are going to get clans. So we're finally going to get what the Goth clan does, Evil Sons, so on and so on. So, but until then, though, use this guy. This guy is awesome. Being able to have that +1 is awesome. It basically means your orcs are hitting more and doing what they do best, which is in close combat. So use him, keep him where your fighting is going to be heaviest, and you will basically always hit. You will only ever miss on 1s then, basically, if you've got him with some of your units. So, nobs on warbikes. Exactly the same as your nobs on stats, except they're on warbikes, so they've got 14-inch movement, 1 extra toughness, and an extra wound. Other than that, that's really it. Again, they come with a Daka gun, 2 Daka guns actually, so they're basically assault 6, strength 5, no AP, 1 damage. Meh. And again, the models can take weapons from the shooty weapons list, the chopper weapons list, so power claws, big choppers. These are what I said last time with your nobs. These are, use them to get into combat as quickly as possible and strike at your basically enemies' weak points with them. The only problem is they've lost the smoke screen, so they no longer have that cover save if they go full out, although that doesn't exist now. So other than that, that's essentially your nobs on warbikes. Now we come to meganobs. So basically exact same stats pretty much as the nob, bar the fact that they get 3 wounds and they get a +2 save, which is awesome. And unfortunately, though, they've lost their cyborg bodies, which is massively disappointing. So, unfortunately, that's the case. We've lost it, but you know, there you go. And again, these guys can be kitted out with everything. So you've got combi weapon with rocket launcher, shooter, combi weapon with Scorcher, which is strength 5, -1 AP and 1 damage. And remember, these automatically hit. So having these as a pre-charge weapon or a anti-charge weapon, and remember, this isn't a burner, this is a Scorcher, so this is D6. So awesome. Now the other thing that we have access to is we have kill saws. Kill saws, again, came from last edition, so they're nothing new if you used them last edition, so you don't have to change them, and they're still pretty good. You can take a kill saw and a power claw if you wanted to in that combination. However, this is the stats for the power claw. So it's ×2 strength, so you're hitting on 10s, -4 AP, 2 damage, and when attacking with this weapon, you must subtract 1 from the hit roll. If the model is equipped with 2 kill saws, add 1 to its attacks characteristics. Yeah, just add 1 to its attacks. So essentially, that model would be making 4 attacks. Again, it's not bad. Now, your power claw is essentially that, except it's -3 AP, which is still pretty good, and D3 wounds. Again, it's that whole guaranteed damage thing that makes the power claws, the kill saw, a slightly more attractive option, but power claws are still awesome. As is with normal, with these, you probably want 1 or 2 of your meganobs to have those power claws just to get those extra attacks, just to get those, kill off those troublesome units, because a -4 AP damage is huge. So other than that, they've got mob rule, here we go, and they've got keeping order, which we've already been through. So that essentially is your meganobs. So join us next time, where we will be discussing your fast attack options, because oh boy have these things changed. We'll also be discussing your transport, which is the truck, and that's also changed as well, for the better. Still not as good, still as flimsy as it is, but it's a lot better than it used to be.